Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Today, we have a fun show ready for you. Hope you're a little bit hungry because we are talking dining. Scott and Pam join me, and we are getting you ready for those cold months of the year here in most of the United States, where when you are on your Disney vacation, whether it's down at Walt Disney World or out to Disneyland, one of the best parts of a vacation is dining outside. So we give our favorite places to dine outside at Disneyland and Walt Disney World, both counter service and table service. So see if your favorite dining spot makes the list. We have a great time telling some stories and those places you need to secure ADRs or just walk up and grab a meal for some great Instagram pics that everybody back home when it's cold will be jealous. Nah. We don't want that to happen, but you're going to have great meals either way. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney getaway. Get away from that cold weather here as it starts to turn cold here in these places and have a great time at Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, even Adventures by Disney. No additional cost to you and first-class concierge level service with each and every trip. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link as you shop this holiday season. It's one extra click, and it supports everything we do throughout the year. Just bookmark it right there on your browser and use it each and every time. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. We could not do this without your help. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2595 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a great start to the weekend. And hey, let's just call it right now. Let's kick off Thanksgiving weekend and all that stuff right now because, you know, here in the States, it's going to be a short work week for a lot of folks next week. And it's that time of the year where things, I guess we can officially call it gets a little crazy from now till the end of the year. I mean, it is what it is. We're going to call it that. I'm going to see if I can get some backup from my two co-hosts today, my great friends joining us today from up in the land where you got to hold up your hand and say, I'm from one of the fingers of the thumb, Michigan, Scotty G. What's up? East Lansing in the house. Must see adventures on YouTube. Scott, how are things happening here on a Friday? What's up?
Things are going well here, Mike, and you are right. So, especially where I live in Lansing, East Lansing, capital city, this is really when Thanksgiving starts off because the Friday before Thanksgiving, they do a little thing called Silver Bells in the city, and that's where, like, because our capital is like right here in downtown, so there's this awesome parade, you know, and all this cool stuff, and then they do like the big Silver Bells 5K the next morning. Santa's going to be out and all that stuff. So this is when the holiday season really kicks off, is tonight, this Friday. So you said it best. I'm ready. I'm in the holiday spirit. The tree is up. One of the trees, you know, we're not quite like Pam. You know, we don't have 15 or 20 trees, but we do have a few trees, and that's up and running. It's so cozy in the house now, and I just absolutely love it because when it's dark at 5 o'clock, you might as well have the house like nice and cheery, right?
I agree. I mean, you know, you got to combat the darkness with Christmas trees. You know,
you have to, because I can't survive any other way. Like, it is so dang dark.
Well, and we're not even going to talk about once the holidays pass. That is just so we're not going.
Well, that's why
yet.
we need to take the Pam Forster method and just go to Walt Disney World for like 2 months.
That's why we have the show, and that's why we vacation at the Disney destinations in the cold months and these places we live. It's not pretty, but you know. Speaking of Pam Forrester, she is the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, and she only resides in Pittsburgh Well, not in February. You just blew that month off for like years.
Yeah.
And I don't know
It's
if
been
that plan
enough.
continues, but you were not seen in this part of the world in the cold months. What's up, Pam?
No, not in the coldest of colds,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
February.
Yeah. You're like,
Like,
forget this. I'm out.
I know it's so bad, and it's like, yes, it's dark at like 4 or something. That's when it's depressing. It's like it's dark before we have dinner, like
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's kind of sad. So,
That is sad.
I
And
know.
then in February, like it's just you're so over winter at that point. I'm actually getting anxiety thinking about it right now.
We
Like,
should not
I
have
don't
brought
want
this up.
February
Yeah.
to come.
Right.
It's not
I
even
know.
Thanksgiving yet. We're already worried about February. Like, what's
I
going
know.
on here? It's not good.
It's rough. It's rough. It's rough. That's
No,
why
but
we all
Does your
vacation
town
so
do something similar, Pam? Like a Thanksgiving thing at all to kind of kick it off?
They do. We actually had ours last weekend or the weekend before. It's called Miracle on Main Street. And the little town near us is such a little Hallmark movie town. Like it truly is. It's so cute, all the things that they do. But yes, yeah, it's sweet. And we have so many nice little like businesses, and Main Street is really kind of a main street. So
Yep.
Love
It's
it. I love those small towns like that.
Yes.
It's great.
And here in where we are in St. Charles, Missouri, Scott's been down here. We had a bunch of us a few years back. We rocked it out on Main Street, St. Charles. They decorate it like an old Victorian town. It's kind of like Main Street on at the Magic Kingdom. You know, we got the carolers that wander around singing the old Dickens,
cool.
things. It's awesome. Like the businesses, because we have like antique stores and restaurants and little bars and candle shops and all that, bookstores and
Pickle
stuff.
shots too.
Pickle
right? You can
shots
do
that
that.
happen. Carriages.
Home of the pickle shot down
Yeah.
there in St. Charles.
It's wild. We have the horse-drawn carriages you can ride, and the hot cocoa, and the smiths with the hammering on the iron and stuff. It's a scene down there. So Old Town St. Charles, right on the Missouri River, where Lewis and Clark took off, right there. So they'll kick off the thing this weekend too. So go check it out. Just Google Historic St. Charles if you're in the Midwest. But but does any work get done? Because I remember we used to go to school Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Now, last year, a lot of schools around here were off that whole last week. This year, all the schools are going to school Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But in the business world, well, Scott, you're in the business world. Does work get done on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday real quick before? I mean, you speak for the business people here.
I will say I'm getting a lot of meetings this week because next Monday and Tuesday are pretty empty.
I'm just wondering how that works. Yeah, okay. All right. I don't know.
I know because like we just got done with like big like initiatives for the whole company that you have to do. Like your open enrollment like just got done, and like your performance, your self-evaluation just got completed. So it's just funny, like all these big deadlines just happened right before Thanksgiving because everyone knows like, yeah, you're gonna kind of take it easy the next week or two.
Well deserved, I would say. All right, so today, real quick, I just want to remind people from Wednesday, the Christmas card exchange and the ornament exchange ongoing. You got to get on this soon though, because there is a deadline. I can't promise you what the deadline is, but check it out because it will hit you soon.
I think it was December 1st.
Okay, so that's coming up quick. So go to the Facebook page. Just search Be Our Guest Podcast on Facebook. It's actually in the Discord server too, in the Clubhouse. It's in the current BOGP thread. It's probably up pretty far at this point, so you're gonna have to search for that. Best place to find it is a pinned post in the Facebook page. You can get on that to exchange ornaments or Christmas cards with other podcast listeners. Again, shout out to Michelle and Florence for taking on this huge undertaking. It's fun. We've been doing this for over 15 years. Scott said this, we've exchanged, Pam too. We've exchanged so many ornaments on our Christmas trees, memories over the years. I have lizards. I have Santa riding a space shuttle. I have I have a Taco Bell ornament from one year. I have all kinds of crazy ornaments that just bring me joy every time I pull out the Christmas ornaments. Cards from past years, that I don't throw anything away. I'm a hoarder. I'm terrible. My wife hates it, but it's great. It's a great way to, kids can get out on it, and it's so fun. We take pictures with our ornaments, post them in the Facebook group, and it's a great time. So get in on that.
There's been so many great stories. I remember last year I got it was like a mailbox from the UK. It was like a ornament, and it was like the coolest thing. And then when I was in the UK this year, I took a photo with a mailbox from the UK and sent it to the person that gave me that ornament. It was so cool. But yeah, I love the ornament exchange. I always bring a couple ornaments from Bronner's, the world's largest Christmas store, about an hour from my house. So if you draw me, or if I draw you, I should say, you might be getting something from Bronner's.
And we don't draw. Michelle does all the.
That's right. We don't. We have nothing to do.
Exactly. It's like a secret initiative. So they'll take care of that. Jason says, shout out Jason. If you search over in the clubhouse over in Discord, you just search in ornament and it'll you'll get all the details. So check that out. All right. So let's get to today's topic though. Speaking of bad weather, dark, gloom, doom, where we're from this time of year until daylight savings time comes back in like 7 years. One of the best aspects of a Disney vacation, we can all three agree on, and all thousands of us listening to the show today, is when you get to dine outside on a beautiful day at Walt Disney World and also at Disneyland. We can throw Disneyland in there too. And honestly, on Disney cruise, if you're in port, it's not really a great idea sometimes to eat outside on a Disney ship if you're at sea because it's windy. You got to kind of hold on to your chicken strips, but it can be. But let's talk Disneyland and especially Walt Disney World. Some of the best places to dine outside, either sit down or it could be counter service as well. And I kind of teased this on Wednesday with one of my favorite places to go, the Boathouse at Disney Springs. I mean, just picture it. I'm like Sophia on the Golden Girls. Picture it. Sicily. Picture it. Disney Springs.
You must have been watching a lot of Golden Girls.
I don't watch the Golden Girls. I seriously, this is like from back when it original run. That's probably the last time I saw it. I don't even know why that came to me. It's probably because I'm on social media too much, and they're always on social media. But and I even did the hand motion. Picture it. Disney Springs, 2024. You're sitting outside. Water behind you. Beautiful blue sky. But it's January, right? Back home, there's 3.5 inches of slushy snow that's melting. So you got to go outside and take the dog for a walk. Your feet are going to be instantly wet. The wind's blowing.
That's actually what I hope for.
Oh, no,
Isn't
seriously.
it worse though when you're in
like
January
me.
and it's like a 60-degree day back home? You're like, why am I here?
Well, no. It makes your food taste better at the Boathouse if the wind chill back home is below zero.
Yes,
I swear
it does.
it's mean. It's mean. But you're looking at your phone back home. You're like, oh yeah. Back in St. Peter's, the wind chill is 12 below zero.
It actually is mean because then
better.
I think about my dad letting out our dog in in a snowstorm. That's pretty mean, but
So
you know what? Sometimes
Honesty,
you gotta be mean.
Honesty is the best policy. That's what they always say. But I'm telling you, like you're sitting out there kind of outside at the, on a beautiful day, the sun's out, it's like, it's not hot. It's not humid. It's just beautiful. And you're eating your filet sliders with some, those seasoned fries. I mean, because you got the amphicars going by, you got Saratoga Springs over your shoulder, and all the energy of the water, the boats going up and down the Sassagoula, going to French Quarter and Riverside and Old Key West. Oh, that's one of my places because it's got good food. It's got good scenery. It's got a lot to watch. So the Boathouse, I'm going to lead off with that. Scott, give us another place to go eat where it's just nice outside.
I'm gonna start off by saying though, so I'm a big table service fan. Like I'm gonna go to table service over counter service all the time, and the lounges too. But when I think about outdoor dining, like counter service is what comes to mind because I think a lot of counter service has the outdoor seating versus the table. So I'm gonna start off with a counter service that's really gonna surprise both of you. I think that I'm choosing this, but I'm going right down Main Street, USA. I'm going with Casey's Corner. Because you got the piano music playing right out there, and you have this view of the castle. Now it might be kind of crowded. Might have to deal with some birds maybe around there a little bit. That's dangerous.
Is that a positive or a negative? I mean, you get like entertainment. You got competition.
You do get some entertainment, but I love the piano player. I just love that vibe, the atmosphere. You got a hot dog or some corn dog nuggets. I don't know. It's crowded, yes, but I think it's a cool spot. I just really enjoy that atmosphere of sitting outside at Casey's right there. If you can get a table, because it's really hard to get a table there too.
I swear that the Casey's though, I agree with you because it's good food. You got the castle, there's a lot to see. There's plenty of entertainment, but over the last 5 years, it has gotten hard to get it. You basically have to divide and conquer there at that point, right? You have to have more than one person. You got to be okay. you have to kind of float. And as somebody starts to make the move towards the trash can as they're finishing a meal, you gotta boom, you gotta grab that table while somebody else goes and gets the food, even if you.
And that's not quite like relaxing either, like because like you think outdoors, you think relaxing, so this is more like intense outdoors,
right?
In a way,
it's like a competition. Come on,
and we all. I mean, and I've said this for like 10 years on the show. Almost every aspect of a Disney vacation is a competition at some point. You're competing for everything. You are 100%. You're drawn to that. And Jason says Vernon and Jason, they love sitting on the hub grass. So you know what? Maybe the hub grass is like auxiliary seating for Casey's, but you don't get to hear. You don't hear the piano player, because I think what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. The piano player is really kind of sells the environment, because that is one of the most underappreciated. Talented cast members at Walt Disney World. That person that plays the piano at Casey's, unbelievable.
So good. I just love, and it gets crowded around there too. Like people will gather around the piano player, so that's why it's nice. Like you can just be bragging rights. Like, hey, I got some fried deliciousness here and a seat. So take that, sucker.
Okay, let's go. All right, Pam, give us another one. I like it. We're coming in hot.
All right, so I'm going back to Disney Springs too, and there's actually so many great places to sit outside at Disney Springs, but the one I was thinking of was Raglan Road. There is an outdoor seating area there, and you can order from the full menu, so you can do that. They have bands and musicians that are playing at different times that sort of rotate through. Another bonus for this is you're actually pretty close to Gideon, so you could make that happen. Sometimes you can time it so that, well, they aren't really doing the virtual line anymore, so that's not quite as easy, but that used to be something that we would do, get a virtual spot in line, then go over to Raglan Road, get something to eat, and then go over there. But Raglan Road's just fun if you haven't been. They really, both indoor and outdoor seating, both provide typically some entertainment in the evenings. But it's just a fun place to be. You can grab a beer, grab a drink, and grab something to eat there. They have fish and chips. They have a lot of other specialties there. They have, during the cooler months, if it's a little cooler, they have a pot pie that is really good, like a chicken. Mike, this is up your alley. A chicken pot pie. It does have mushrooms in it too. It's mushrooms, chicken and mushrooms, but
I don't like mushrooms. But
I
might try
love
it.
the mushrooms.
Me too. And this one is really good. So
hot take is I like chicken pot pies at restaurants, because like I used to make them at home, right? But they take forever to make at home. But like at a restaurant, you're going to wait anyway. So get a pot pie.
Plus at home, it's like lava when you take it out.
That's true. That's another literal hot take. Yeah.
Pizza roll or something.
Yes, it is. It is.
That is the truth.
Somehow pizza rolls and pot pies that you make at home get hotter than you ever thought the oven could get. Like it just is like that. But Raglan Road, it's a good choice. And it's not something that you instantly think of when you're thinking of outdoor eating. And the other thing is, because it's so big, you can often find dining there. So
that's a great choice. We have a question that is semi on topic here, but not really, from listener Kelsey in the chat, which we're not going to spend a ton of time on this one, but I think it is important. Which Golden Girl would you think you are? I'm going to have to go with B. Arthur. She was like a retired teacher in the show, right?
Dorothy. Yes.
Okay, so I would say her, but I'm actually more of a Sophia at this point, because I'm just like old and cranky. So I'm going with Sophia, even though I'm a retired teacher. So Sophia for me. Scott, what about you?
I don't know. I'll just say I'm Blanche.
No, dude, aren't you is she like a vixen or something?
Scott's the vixen.
Okay, all right. I'm not even going there, but go ahead, Pam. Who are you?
I honestly don't watch that much Golden Girls, so I don't.
That surprises
really
me.
Man,
okay,
you're missing out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I really am one over the others. I think I have a little bit of all the Golden Girls in me. Honestly, I really do. Like sometimes this is bad for a travel agent to admit this, but like when it comes to my travels, sometimes I'll be like, oh wait, where am I going? What am I doing? So like that sort of Rose,
So
right?
it's like,
Because
yeah,
she's
Betty
sort
White,
of
yeah.
goofy. Yeah, the Betty White character. Definitely Dorothy, in that sometimes I feel like I'm sort of, running the three ring circus here that's going on. So I identify with that. Sometimes Sophia, because, it's like things are, a little like, I'm just going to tell you what's happening and what's, how it is and whatnot. And then sometimes a little like Blanche, because Blanche seems like she's having a good time. So,
And that's why she does. I know she I'm a very committed person to my wife, so I don't like date around or anything like that. But
right.
but I like to have a good time.
Right. Yes. Blanche is having a good time. So.
I just had to play it. All right. I mean, we got. Where's the show going? What's going on?
This is clearly a Friday.
I have no idea
episode.
what is going on with this. I mean, it's the holiday season. All right, next, let's get back on topic. So my next round one is going to be a table service restaurant, and it is one of the coolest places I've ever eaten. But we're going out to the West Coast. Now, funny story about this place. One of the worst dining experiences I've ever had in my life at this place. Scott was there.
Oh.
Carnation Cafe. Dude, our waiter left in the middle of the meal while we were there, but you're dining outside on Main Street, USA, and it was a great meal. It was a good meal. I mean, but it's like you're literally eating outside with a rose on your table, or carnation, I guess, a flower.
Yeah.
On Main Street, USA. You are literally, there's so many times on that trip where I was like pinching myself, right? That like I'm at Disneyland, I'm where Walt was. I'm, so much like the history, literally, you're just wiping it away while you're there. And Scott made an ADR for Carnation Cafe. And I think was that the package with Main Street Electrical Parade that night? I think, maybe, no?
It may have been. I can't remember.
I can't remember, but it was awesome. Yeah. So we're having dinner there, and it's just great, right? The weather was perfect. I mean, we're there having a meal together, and you're just watching like the people coming and going up and down you're watching people coming and going on Main Street USA at Disneyland. I mean, how cool is that? That was amazing. But I mean, the quick story is like, did our waiter not like leave in the middle of that meal? Like just gone. Like, and we got to backup waiters like
we
halfway through.
Getting another server, yes, halfway through. Don't know exactly what happened there. I was afraid to eat my food, honestly.
It was the weirdest meal ever.
Here?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. But
it was so weird. But yeah, I love that atmosphere. That's why I booked it for us. I know as your first trip to Disneyland, and I think that's a kind of an iconic spot, like right there on Main Street. I think it's really neat. I will say though, that menu is like starting to disappoint me. That menu used to be a lot better, I will say. But that doesn't mean that the location isn't bad. The location is still great. I just wish they would revisit the menu again.
But see, again, and I think we did a show about this, I think like 6 months ago, where we did like greater than, less than, or equal to, where it was like atmosphere is like with food. Oh, yeah. We need to revisit that again, like things like that. And that's one of those places, even though the menu's not great, I would totally make an ADR there just for the atmosphere, to eat outside, just to eat on Main Street, even if the food is average. There's some places you go because the food is the jam and it's like, the atmosphere is, it's not great. But just to sit there for an hour and watch people coming up and down Main Street USA at Disneyland, and the food, you're right, it wasn't spectacular, but the company was great, and just the fact that you're eating on Main Street.
And if you time it with a parade, it's even better. You see a parade come by while you're sitting there. So good.
Pretty cool. So there you go, Carnation Cafe. All right, Scott, give it another one.
I did a counter service the first go, so I like to always be like balanced. So I'm going to do a table service this time. And it shouldn't surprise anyone. It's a place I frequent often. It's at my home resort. And I just love this small little outdoor patio, the section they have. And I'm talking about Olivia's Cafe at Old Key West.
Whoops, that's the wrong button.
Wow.
I mean, it's not that expensive.
It's like money.
When I hit it, I was like, whoops, that was not the right
All right,
button.
well, we make things happen. There's going to be a $15 upcharge now to eat outside at Olivia's. But
it's the same color on the board.
But actually, all of our families dined out there once. It was a marathon weekend, I remember, and it was super cool. Like, that was super cool because we had the whole patio to ourselves. Like, I don't know if Pam pulled some magic there or what, but no,
just nod your head and say yes.
They saw us and they knew we needed it to ourselves.
Actually, that was the night we were trying to go to like boat rights even. Like we just could not get on a list anywhere
Yes,
for
you're
I
right.
was so hangry because I was doing dopey. I was so
yeah,
hangry.
and I was running my
Yeah.
first marathon the next morning. But and that our server was awesome. I mean, it was like her last night. She was switching restaurants, I think. But anyway, I just love, especially at night. So I'm just thinking about that setting where our families were all there. It was just, it's so comfortable out there, and you have the lights. I love like the hanging lights around like the, what we want to call it, like the walkway area there of Old Key
Yes.
West. It just seems so like vacation-y, like like Florida. Like I don't know how to explain, but I just love the hanging lights. It's dark, and you're having this like home cooked meal. You get the chicken or whatever. You get a little cocktail, maybe like a High Life beer, whatever it might be. It's just so relaxing, and you see people coming back off the bus from their vacation. And like I feel like the guest behavior is really good at Old Key West too. So you don't see like angry families very much, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you know what I'm saying. Like I think the guests coming back are like generally like upbeat, talking about what they did that day, and like you're just sitting there relaxing and taking it all in. It's just a cool setting for me personally.
100%. So I want to speak to that because it's almost like that Carnation Cafe experience, but it's because you're watching people coming and going from the parks. And so you'll see people as you're sitting there just chilling, having your meal with your friends and your family. And it's beautiful. There's like usually a nice breeze, the ceiling fans are on. It's so nice. But you see like, little kids coming back with like a balloon from the Magic Kingdom or a lightsaber from the studios, and they're all excited talking about what they did. And it is just like, you're almost like a spectator in like the excitement of their day. There's something to be said by just sitting there and passively taking in everybody's excitement from the day. You see grandkids with their grandma and grandpa and moms and dads. And you're right. I don't know why, but everybody at Old Key West is chill. Like you just don't see now, as I say that, like Len's getting ready to go there and he's like, I'm going there and having a meal there. Like, I hope he doesn't see a meltdown. Cause I mean, I'm sure it happens. It's the real world, but for the most part, everybody's chill at Old Key West.
And that's why I like it at night too, is because of that reason. I also like seeing, and Pam will know what I'm talking about here too, is like I love seeing the boat kind of come in, and like you hear like the boat horn, like the I don't know why, but like that noise makes me happy. Like I just can't explain it, but like I'm just like in my moment when I'm out there at night, man. Now I'm reconsidering my ADRs for my trip next week because now I feel like I gotta go back home to Olivia's for a meal.
It's so good. Yeah,
that could be a good Thanksgiving dinner meal, honestly.
It could, and the good news about Olivia's is like it's kind of like one of those just kind of keep in your back pocket. If you need an ADR, you can usually grab it. So most of the time.
Pam, any thoughts on that? Do you disagree with that one? Or?
No, I mean, if I'm going to eat at Olivia's, I want to eat outside because for all the reasons that you mentioned, I love hearing the boat come and go. I love seeing the families out there. And I think that Olivia's is just one of those places that is most often frequented by people who are staying right there at Old Key West. And the vibe is different. Like it just hits differently. Like you said, there are just, these people are probably have been Disney Vacation Club members for a long time or have visited this resort again and again. And I think there's just not the intensity that's sometimes there with other vacationers. So
it seems like nobody's in a rush there. Everybody's just like, we're letting the vacation come to us, and
I won't say it's my favorite place by any means, but if you just want some like casual kind of relaxing meal, like that's a good spot. Yeah.
I agree. All right, cool. Pam, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to go out to Disneyland too, and there's some great locations at Disneyland, but one of my favorite is the Lamplight Lounge, and it has so at the Lamplight Lounge there are two distinct dining opportunities. You can do Lamplight Lounge boardwalk dining, which is just all outdoors. It's sort of to the left of the main restaurant. You can make an ADR, but there's also same day availability that's going to pop up at this restaurant. Then the other one is just Lamplight Lounge, and that's the restaurant, and they actually have an outdoor dining location too that is out the back of the restaurant that sort of looks out over the Ferris wheel and whatnot. And I like this for so many reasons. First of all, there just aren't that many sit-down locations at Disneyland as compared to Walt Disney World. So this is someplace that we go not almost every time that we're out there. at one point or another. But it's just fun. They have some unique drinks. They have some unique foods, and the views. You cannot beat the views from the Lamplight Lounge that you're looking out over California Adventure and that Pixar Pier, location of the park, and I just really love it. And lobster nachos too. So there's that.
Lobster nachos. Oh,
I love that spot, Pam.
I know it's so good.
And when I want to be seated there, sometimes I'll ask I'll wait if I can get to the back part of the restaurant,
Right.
The whole restaurant is great, but yeah, I love the outdoor area.
Yeah.
You're so on point.
So nice. And that, California weather, that is one of the appeals of California, right? The weather. So
I still haven't eaten there. So I'm going solo for Disneyland race weekend. I mean, is that a spot to try solo?
I would do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can just sit at one of the outdoor bar, grab a bar stool even and look out there. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I love
definitely
that part of the park. It's so pretty. It
is.
It's that's one of those places. I mean, there's a few places in the Disney parks that when you look at them, they almost look like they're like a backdrop, with that Ferris wheel and the roller coaster and stuff. It just doesn't look real.
And this is one of them. I think this is probably one of the best views at almost any of the parks. It really is when you're really looking at it. So
you're so right.
Man, there's so many good places. I'm trying to think. So I'm going to go with for my next one, just real quick. And this one, I got two that I'm trying to decide between. Well, I'll go with it. You got to Battle the Birds. And it's just, again, it's not fancy because I've gone a couple sit down places. Just getting your fish and chips over in England and going down and just enjoying World Showcase there. Now you got to watch the birds, but right there, just, Yorkshire fish and chips shop. I just like that on a beautiful day. It's not fancy.
I love it.
It's not fancy, but I mean, every time I sit there, I'm just I'm just enjoying life. Because you can sit there and kind of look over the one shoulder, see World Showcase Lagoon. A lot of times you can hear the drummers over in Japan. You can see the people coming and going on the promenade there in the UK. A lot of times you can hear music playing in the UK pavilion. And that fish and chips, it just hits just right. It's not too heavy. It's just about the right, grab it, go. You're in and out in 15, 20 minutes. It's not, it's a good meal. So not fancy, but just a beautiful kind of little snack meal and move on and enjoy the day. So I'm going with that.
And not necessary for everyone, but for me and Pam too. If you have a pint too to go along with that, that is the perfect setting.
It is. It truly, truly is. I don't know why, but that location more than any other, it's you have to get it. You have to get, and I like to get one of the things that I can only get there. And it might not even be one of my favorite beers, but I'm well, I have to get it here.
Right.
So.
Now, see, here's my thing about that, because I've not really gone into Rose and Crown. Is the atmosphere, because I know we're talking outdoor today, but what's the atmosphere like, and can you get fish and chips inside? I've done the sit down one time with I did a tour and you had a breakfast in there.
We all did it. Egg.
We did the dining thing,
the
fireworks thing.
Yeah, the illuminations thing. Yeah.
But is that inside the bar? Can you get a fish and chips inside the bar? In there? No, you just get drinks.
It's just bar.
Drinks.
Okay, I've
it's
never
just
done
drinks,
the bar because I don't drink a lot.
Yeah, but you can just walk in and get something and get it in a to-go cup, and so then you can take it with you.
Okay, I just
so or you can stand there and drink it too. But I think if you're getting fish and chips, that's the way to do it. You stop in, you get a beer, get the fish and chips. You divide and conquer right here too, Mike. Yeah. One person gets fish and chips, one person gets the drinks, then you meet over.
And then maybe you hope you have a third person that can get a table.
Yes.
Yes, true.
Especially during busy, food and wine or race weekend. It's
man. I've had many pints sitting on the curb there in England.
Yes.
Because there's nowhere to sit.
I've sat on a curb a few times right in front of that telephone booth. Yeah, it's geez. And the older you get, man, the harder it is to sit on those curbs, man. It's not a spring chicken. All right, go ahead, Scott. We got.
Well, since you two went to Disneyland, I'm going to go to Disneyland as well. And while it doesn't have a spectacular review as the one Pam was talking about, I'm actually going to go to a resort. And I'm going to go to the Disneyland Resort, and I'm going to go to the Tangora Terrace there at the Disneyland Hotel. And the reason I choose this spot is because it's a nice open area. And the food might not be the greatest, but it kind of divides the outdoor seating with the outdoor Trader Sam's area. Yep. And a lot of times there's some live music happening out there in the evenings. And that is just so enjoyable to me. and you can usually get a drink from one of the cocktails from Trader Sam's while you're out there too. But it's just something about like with the lights all like lit up, like those torches are lit up, and like you got the palm trees and you have some ukulele music or it's like some like Polynesian music going on. Like that vibe after like a long park day is so nice to me. It's just and the weather. When we talked about the California weather, is gorgeous. Doesn't matter what time of year you're out there doing this, it's going to be great. So I just love winding down out there. I think it's a great spot.
It's good.
Plus, they have a poo-poo platter. I mean,
Yeah, there you go.
Who doesn't want a poo-poo platter? I mean, come on now.
Everybody wants the poo-poo platter.
Everyone wants it.
Yes. So how many places do you think there are in America where you can order a poo-poo platter?
I'm scared to ask what's on it.
It's food that you would like, Mike. They have like ribs and wings and stuff like that. So
we need a Instagram reel of you getting the poo-poo platter when you're down there for this race.
I am.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go over and get one. Yes.
Yeah.
I've said this 100 times, but man, Disneyland Hotel reminds me of the Polynesian. It's got the Polynesian vibe right there in the middle. I love that.
It does right there. Yeah, it does, because they have the tiki torches and whatnot. And Scott's right. The music, the fact that they have live music and whatnot. Yeah, it's a good spot. It's a really good spot.
It's a good unwinding. Like again, a lot of these, like I'm trying to set like a time of day. Like I really like it at night.
Mm-hmm.
During the day, it's fine too. But there's something about that setting with the torches we were just talking about at night with the music. It's just, it's magical.
Yes.
It's Disney magic.
It is.
You need to book that trip for late January, Scott. Let's go. See you out there.
I mean, this sounds really nice.
I'm just saying, let's do it. All right, Pam, what you got?
All right. So, and going back to World, I have a few things. So I actually took notes earlier. I have a few that I want to mention, but I'm going to pick just one of them. And I'm going to go ahead and name 3 bridges as a spot that is just so good. But it's like one of the ones that people probably think of a lot, but maybe not, because Coronado is like, it's not on the monorail line and it's not on the Skyliner. But first of all, I know we all like Coronado. It just is a beautiful resort, and we, refer to it as sort of deluxe light because of all the things that they have there, all the amenities. But this is just like a diamond in the rough sort of spot, right? You have beautiful views from all different locations. You can see the main tower when it's lit up. They have good food, good drinks. The servers are always great. There's nothing better than being out there in the middle of the lake, right? And being outside. And it's one of my favorite spots. Even when it's really hot out, there seems to be a little breeze in that space. Maybe it's the lake. I don't know. Does it even qualify as a lake? I don't know. But
it's Lago. I believe it's a Lago.
Yeah, I know it's called.
I know, I just kidding.
But you would think there would have to be like a size measurement or something to like call it a lake. It seems more like a real big pond. But
what's also like under maybe not so known thing about that place is like late at night, like the kitchen is still open. Like sometimes like, you come back from a park late and you're like the restaurants are closed and all that, especially at Coronado, but like you can still get a meal at 3 Bridges like at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Which
awesome.
Was that place, the Rick's, not the restaurant Rick's, but the place next to
that place closes at 10 a.m.
That place is open like 3 hours a day. The place next to the gift shop. What's the deal?
It's not even open for afternoon coffee. I'm like,
dude, and they leave the good, like the pastries in the window,
right?
Like, just to taunt you. That's all they do.
That location might be the biggest mystery of Walt Disney World, honestly.
Truly.
That place is begging to get broken into, because I'm just like, dude, why do you leave the big pink donut right there just for me to want to just punch
they should
the
have to
window
take
in?
that stuff down if they're not open.
Mike, did you have one?
They don't have a place open for coffee in the afternoon. I'm like, what? This is when I need it the most.
Dude, that's true, because the Barcelona Lounge doesn't open till like because it's open in the morning, then it closes, then it's like
Yes.
it opens at 3 or something, right? Or 4, like yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That little cafe's been closed for 4 hours.
For real. I'm like at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like starving, I'm like, and they got all those great looking pastries there, just like, literally behind a piece of glass that's 6 inches. I'm just like, do I want to go to jail if I punch my hand through that to grab that donut? Because I need that donut. I'm so hungry.
It's so weird.
What is wrong with them?
And the desserts aren't as good over at the Mercado.
No,
like they
correct.
aren't they don't have the expanse of choices that they have there.
I do like
don't
their
know.
ice cream machine over there, but that's about it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I like the I can never say it. The
Dolce de leche.
Yes. Thank you. I always get the cupcake. Thank
It's
you. Okay.
sad. Yes, it's sad though, because we've been at El Mercado and been, okay, we want something sweet. And like seriously looking at what they have and like going back to like, gosh, like, are we going to get like a kind bar or something? Is this what we've reduced ourselves to?
Gotta go to the Rice Krispie.
Right? I know. It's just like, what is happening here?
Probably
The
just gotta have a
prepackaged
Gideon's-
Snickers.
You got to have a Gideon's cake slice in the room at all times.
Yes.
Exactly.
Back up. Yeah, exactly. Back up. Got to go to the Gideon's
That
cake.
should be our tip for Coronado.
That is a good tip. Yes, that is true. All right, real quick. It's got to be a lightning round. Okay, so here's mine. It was a lightning round because we're getting tight on time. This one has to be said so we don't get the emails. Geyser Point. Got to eat
Yes.
outside. One of the best places on a beautiful night. They have TVs, bar, great food, beautiful atmosphere, comfy seats. You can sit in the kind of little couches around. You can sit at the bar. It's just beautiful. We've talked about it many times. Geyser Point has to make the list.
Absolutely.
There.
For
All right,
sure.
Scott, what do you got?
Well, Pam took one of my 2, so I'm glad you didn't take the other one, Mike. I'm going with Baseline Tap House. I just
Good call.
love being outside right there. As our
Yeah.
friends,
Cool.
the Bears say, it's the best theme park ride. Right?
I was gonna say, it used to be the adult holding pen for the Rise the Resistance.
I know,
virtual
I know,
queue.
right?
True.
But I
True.
love getting like the pretzel, the charcuterie board there. Like it's just and like I just love being outside in
The
that spot.
background loop there is fantastic. It's so good.
So good.
All right, bring us home, Pam.
All right, so this is going to be an off the wall choice, but I'm going over to French Quarter to Sasagula because you can get the beignets and take them outside right there and eat them. It's the best of all the worlds. And I love the background music at that resort too. It is so themed to that resort. I like sitting in that little courtyard because once again, you're sort of part of the action. You see people coming and going. It's nice to hear that. And beignets outside. You need to eat them outside because it's getting everywhere.
Sugar.
The powder
It's everywhere.
Powdered sugar. Exactly.
I've learned over the years how to eat those. Like I need to, because I used to always choke on the first bite every time. But I've learned now, just inhale with the nose first before you take that first bite, and then you're safe.
Okay.
Are you setting
Good
me
to
up?
know.
Because I'm going to try that next time. You totally set me up so I do choke. Like,
No, and then I take the bite, and then I'm good. I've learned many beignets have been consumed by me, and this has been my technique now.
This is your takeaway.
this is not
Because my girls were
officially,
tired of hearing me choke on them.
this is not officially condoned by the Be Our Guest podcast, but try it at your own risk. I'm just saying. Yeah,
Great
but
pick, Pam. I can't agree more with that. That's very solid.
It's
I love that
just
background
fun.
look too.
that is true because, like, again, you can see people coming and go. It's kind of like the Olivias, right? Yeah, and for one thing, French Quarter is just so beautiful outside. I love the theming at French Quarter. Just to get over there, I love that resort.
Oh yeah,
I
I
haven't
love
been there in
walking the
too
grounds there, like with the
Yes.
street signs and everything
Yes.
too. Like
Rue de
it's
Vega.
so gorgeous.
Oh, it's so good, especially right there at the where this outdoor seating is for the food court, because you got those like big like medallion signs that
Yes.
and the trees that kind of like
Yes,
go
and the
over.
jesters on the medallions, and yeah, it's fun.
Oh, Kelsey's got a hot take. We got to go with this before we close out the show. She says, my son Ryan fed a bite of beignet to a squirrel at French Quarter there, and it bit his finger, and we still laugh about it. Dude, that squirrel's probably
I thought I was gonna say the squirrel choked too.
I thought this was going to be the origin of the remember the old YouTube video, Charlie bit my finger bit? You know?
Yes, yeah.
And Ryan became an internet sensation. Could be.
This does not surprise at all.
Right.
What's the lesson there? Don't feed beignets to squirrels. Or do.
You know, it's funny,
I mean,
Mike. In
or
a
do.
way, we did a draft, but
We
it really
did.
wasn't like a draft episode. You know, I'm just saying.
That's for Jason. All right, we got to get out of here. It's Friday and it's the weekend. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll continue this Sunday night. If you have any takes on outdoor dining at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, let us know. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll have the BOGP open line. You, me, and Scotty G. So join us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. We'll be waiting for your call. Don't forget, today's show always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Give us a follow on the social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. Check out all the great coverage of the Disney treasure from New York City over on that. Scott's at Epscott, EPSCOT. You can also check him out at Must See Adventures on YouTube. Also, check us out in the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. We hang out there all the time, having a great time. So come over there this weekend. And what else do we have? Don't forget to sign up for the Christmas card exchange and the ornament exchange. Check that out on the Facebook page. Just search for the Be Our Guest Podcast on Facebook. And I think that is about it. So we'll be back together again Sunday night for the live call-in show, Monday for a trip report, and we'll have a good time until then. So until we get back together again, you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.